Greetings, fellow dragon fruit lovers. This is Paul, and today we're going to do an update on all the fruit ripening. Look at this. This is red ES1. It's almost ripe. Now, red ES1 stands for Edgar seedling. So this came from Edgar Valdivia, and this specific plant came from my friend, the late Leo Manuel. So I'm excited to try that fruit. Now, with the heat wave, we've had over 100-degree weather this week, and it's really accelerated the color changing on the fruit, and they're ripening much faster. So that means that they're going to have a lower sugar content, sadly, but they'll still be delicious. So I'm watching to make sure that they don't split too. So it's been really hot. The extreme temperatures are definitely affecting things. Now, by the way, this is Unknown Road. It's a self-sterile undatus that's pretty tasty. I found it on the side of a road. This is Leo's Dragon. Red flesh fruit. There are many hybrids of this series, and I have not tried this one yet. So this one has ripened really quickly. There's another one. There's a bunch of them. So I'm going to try some of these very soon. I'm trying to keep them on the plant as long as possible without splitting to increase the sweetness, again, due to that heat wave. Now, this is a different plant, a different pot from Leo's Dragon, but I believe that these are the same. So I'm assessing all of them, and these ones opened at the same time. They're ripening at the same time. And the flower actually opened early, which was interesting. Now this one is another of Leo's Dragon. So you can see I've grouped all these together, and they all look very similar. And they're ripening really, really quickly. Now Danny's Pride of Fallbrook, which is a magenta fleshed fruit. They're ripening quickly as well, turning color at least. So I'm excited to have some more of those fruit. This one's really exciting. This is one of a seedling from Leo Manuel, and it's called B, and it's Jim Nitzel crossed with Rixford. He repeated Paul Thompson's cross. So I have a few fruit on here. Here's the big one that's turning color. So I'm excited to try that fruit. It's going to be in just a few days. Now here's a really interesting, it's not fruiting, but this is an interesting seedling. You can see how long it grows these really long single spikes. My friend gave me the seedling as G2 crossed with Physical Graffiti. So if I get lucky, it might fruit this season, but it's looking more like it's going to be next season. Now here's the seedling sister of the one from Leo's cross I showed you, Jim Nitzel crossed with Rixford. This is seedling B. And so it has more fruit. One of these are pink fleshed, and it was quite good. I had a little fruit already. This is George Emmerich Jr.'s number 2. Looks like an undatus. So I have a few fruit I get to try off of that plant this season. Arizona Purple, same thing as Sugar Dragon. I'm assessing them here. Sugar Dragon. Some more flower buds. Sugar Dragon SD9, Danny's Sugar Dragon, very productive right now. And here's Neon with a few ripe fruit. So they're almost ripe. I'm excited to eat some more Neon. I have to say, I think they're all very, very similar, but Neon slightly tastes better, in my opinion, over Sugar Dragon. So it's a good variety, and it's also very similar and self-fertile. Here's another one of those 3S red plants from Leo, and Gray Martin thought it could be, or it was probably, Cosmic Charlie. So I agree with him. So I'm assessing that one. Here's a really old Frankie's Red. Look at this. It's actually 4 of them. And Frankie's Red, the oldest source, is from Leo, as far as I know. And look at that. Such an old, cool-looking plant. No flower buds yet. Lots of new growth, though. Lots of really healthy growth. Look at this. See how red it is? It's really interesting. Here is Alice Snow undatus. So I'm excited to try an Alice Snow. Here's another one of George Emmerich Jr.'s. This is number 1, turning color. I have a few other plants mixed in that I'm assessing from Leo. That's what these fruit are. There are no IDs. And then here's Kwang Ong self-fertile. Look at that. The second wave was really, really big. It actually has some more flower buds, as you can see. And here's the largest fruit. So I'm excited to taste this one in another couple weeks. Looks like another week or 2. Now here is 9S, Paul Thompson's 9S. Excited to try that. Should be a delicious one. And then here's some more of Leo's fruits just ripening. And these are definitely different from his Selenocereus megalanthus cross with Hylocereus costarricensis. There are so many different seedling sisters with some unique traits, as you can see. Look at this flower bud. This is another sister. Really interesting, isn't it? It's beautiful. Here's a fruit. Another flower bud from another sister. So it's going to take me some time to assess all these, but I'm excited to see how they turn out. Here's Orton Engelhart. There's a few. There's a fruit that's ripening. And Undatus. Really excited to try Orton Engelhart. He invented the Rainbird sprinkler. And here's another really weird one. Huang's A2 hybrid. And it had a really green flower buds, and you can see now it has several fruit. So I'm excited to try it. It has these really long thorns too that kind of curve back. Let's see if I could show you. See them? So not sure what this thing is. It's really interesting. It has a few fruit on it. I'm excited to try. Let me take you down the hill to another section. I'll show you what's going on down there. So here is Florida Red Sweet. I have not had a fruit yet, and I missed this flower last night, so hopefully the bees pollinated it. I guess that's a good test for self-fertility as well, because it's the only flower that opened last night. I'm really excited to try down here Mr. Wu. Let me show that to you. Mr. Wu has been a very productive plant. You can see the beautiful fruit here from its first wave. Look at those. They're just turning in color. Really nice looking. And then it had another wave of flower buds, as you can see. And it's been really, really productive. It grew this whole canopy this season. So in the beginning of the season, it had just topped the trellis. So look at that. Really impressive. Here's an unknown one that I got from Elk Creek I'm assessing. It's been really, really productive as well. Look at all those fruit. Even down at the base, it has that nice big fruit. And what else do we have over here? Those are some Voodoo Child. Here is my first round of Edgar. Look at that. So plenty of fruit on Edgar. And these are the K1s, next wave, which is an Undatus that I surprisingly really enjoyed. I thought it was great. Here's Linda's Assunta 2. I just picked the first few fruit off of this plant, and they are smaller than I kind of remember, but it could be just because of the stress of moving this plant. But this is a really sweet fruit, so I'm excited to have some. Now look at these. We have lots of Soul Kitchen White. Look at those beauties. So I'm going to eat plenty of those and give some to friends. It's not my favorite variety though. I may retire it this season and replace it with something better. There are some Edgar's babies coming along. Now here's something interesting. Look at this, Jim Neitzel's Fence. So it's an Undatus. This is called Jim Neitzel's Fence from Leo. And this is what I believe, my theory is that this is what Paul Thompson actually used to create his hybrids, compared to the Neitzel that was named in his honor after he passed away, which is this. And you can see they're totally different plants. Different shaped fruits, different branches. So I find that interesting. Now down here I have lots of Cosmic Charlie coming along. That's another really great hybrid. I'd really like Cosmic Charlie. And these Nicaraguan Reds here, I just picked several. And this plant has a thin skin. That's one of the drawbacks, but it's a delicious Guatemalan. I really like this fruit. Very tasty. As you can see, I have some more up there. All right, what else should I show you here? Here's one called Pine Island Purple. It's probably just a renamed Paul Thompson's S series, possibly. We'll see. I'm growing it out. And Leo Manuel had this one. So Pine Island Purple. There's a Shayna over here with lots of Pink Panther buds as well. They're sharing space. So here are the Pink Panther buds. Let's show them to you. And then a nice Guatemalan Shayna right there. Now it's been a few weeks since I showed you this, but here is Country Roads coming along, looking great. First fruit I've had off of that plant. And then my Maria Fusias, look at these. Really looking great as well. Lots and lots of delicious fruit coming. But I wish it wasn't quite so hot, because I think some of the sugar content's going to be a little lower because the heat wave has just really accelerated the development and the ripening of these fruit. Here's Caslau, or K. You can see some of these first fruit are just starting to turn color. So that will be, if I've had, this is the second and third wave on this plant. And there's a really big fruit over here. Let's see if you can see it. There it is, the biggest one on the plant, right there. Now over here is Jade Red. Excited to try this fruit. This has been a really aggressive grower, Jade Red. And I'm also noticing that the ants, the Argentine ants, like to eat these branches, as you can see here, look. And I'm noticing that when the ants do that, the variety ends up producing really sweet fruit. So that's a good sign, I'm starting to realize. Now here's my first Vietnamese Janas, another Undatus I'm excited to try. You can see it has several fruit on it. No fruit yet on, that is Florida Sweet Pink and one of Danny's dragons. Here's something interesting. I repotted Diego's Desert King. There you go, some Desert King, Diego's Desert King seedling flower buds. So I'm excited to try this variety. See if it's worth all the hype. All right, what else do we have? We have some purple haze over there. This is really exciting. This is Elk Creek Unknown #1, I call it. I collected this plant from Elk Creek. I thought it was a Guatemalan, but it's actually a hybrid. And look at the size of the bracts on these fruit. It's a pink flesh variety. Really excited to try these fruit again. This is the second season that this plant has been very productive. As you can see, grows quick too. And last but not least for today, actually look at those. That's a beautiful little video right there. Again, that's Elk Creek Unknown #1. We did just set a fruit on this beast. This is Fullerton. I got this at Laguna Hills Nursery. I believe it came from Tony Pachenko. So it's really produced, topped the trellis really quick, and under a year has already produced a fruit. So I'm excited to see how this one tastes. And last but certainly not least, this is an unknown Guatemalan, excuse me, that I found. My neighbor found in Encinitas. And it predates American Beauty, but it's very similar. All Guatemalans are pretty similar, but this one is really delicious. So I'm excited to have some more fruit from this one. The insects really like this plant for some reason, and the ants. And it's been brixing in the upper 19s already. And this is its first year of fruit. As you can see, it has several more fruit on it. And some flower buds. So there you go. There's an update during our heat wave in 2022. Lots of ripe fruit coming in. All right, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care.